Okay, so we are moving on to jet lag and shift work. So both shift work and jet lag can, again, affect your sleep in different ways, which can also cause symptoms like exhaustion and attention problems. So when a person travels and travel into several different time zones, the body's normal sleep-wake cycle is obviously it's going to be disturbed, and this results in jet lag. Jet lag symptoms include the trouble concentrating, daytime weariness, insomnia, and once the body's circadian rhythm has adapted to this local time they're in now, jet lag is typically a temporary issue. However, jet lag can become a persistent issue with some people, and it usually happens when the person's taking long distance flights, such as pilots, flight attendants, and busy travellers. Shift work takes place outside of the typical 9 to 5 work day, since shift work demands people to sleep during the day and be awake at night. It can be difficult for the body's sleep wake cycle to be in sync, and this may result in sleep issues such as insomnia. A night shift may be ideal for those who are motivated and productive after the sun goes down, whereas an early morning shift may be more effective for those who focus better in the hours before dawn. So getting over jet lag, so the severity of jet lag itself, the symptoms varies and depends on the person, and it depends on several factors. The number of time zones crossed, it can depend on the total travel time, the arrival time, the person's regular schedule, and direction of the travel, believe it or not. It could be west to east, etc. is more likely to cause jet lag. And you can adjust your sleep schedule in advance of a trip by gradually changing your circadian rhythm in the days before your journey. Then you'll be more accustomed to the local time zone when you get there. So that's a good tip that you could implement if you do travel a lot. And your circadian rhythm can be changed with a new sleep schedule, controlled light exposure. Then you have melatonin supplementation, you have that. And these adjustments require careful planning though, and it also could present practical difficulties for most people, but it's worthwhile, certainly worthwhile for athletes and busy executives, that needs to do this. Adjusting to the new time zone is sped up by the exposure to natural light and your destination. So therefore it may be preferable to avoid light when you first arrive, and then have extensive light exposure earlier that day. It obviously depends on how far you've travelled and when you arrive. So jet lag can interfere with your circadian clock. Again, it affects the time of melatonin production, and you have the option of melatonin pills taken at the appropriate time, and this may help your internal clock. If this catches up a little bit. So this is all about planning in advance, and jet lag, it's a thing, it can't be cured by sleep aids other than melatonin, because they do not reset your circadian cycle, including both prescription and over-the-counter sleeping medicine. So be prepared for some jet lag symptoms, and avoid packing too much into your first few days at your location. So it's one of these things where you just need to plan ahead as much as possible and use the tips there to help you in advance. Now, dealing with shift work, think of a winding down routine, before bed. This will teach your body to calm down and relax when given the cues, which is the routine. All about structure. And the routine includes journaling, meditation, maybe a hot bath, stretching, or anything else that will help you relax. We'll keep the room dark, in order to synchronise the light that you're getting during your waking hours with your shifts. Light is the most vital synchronising agent for your circadian rhythm. And so manipulating this is certainly beneficial. If you work irregular hours, taking melatonin pills at different times of the day may aid in getting your body ready for bed. And in addition, melatonin supplements can assist daytime sleep for night shift workers. And albeit this does not always translate into increased alertness during the shift work. If you can, nap at work, bring an eye mask. You may get slagged for it, but it certainly will help you. So it's about, will I get a hard time from my colleagues, or, will I prioritise my sleep? And attempting timing is to correspond with your regular sleep and wake periods. And you can prevent this kind of grogginess feeling you may get that comes with coming up from a deep sleep by keeping the nap up to 20 minutes. That's another strategy. Keep your naps 20 minutes max. And if you think you'll be tired during your drive home, think about using public transport. Just be safe and ask a loved one or even to pick you up and drive you. Plan the most dangerous or attention demanding tasks at work for when you feel most awake. So it's just about speaking to your boss, and just at the end of the day, there's only one of you, so you need to prioritise yourself. Okay, so next we will be talking about power naps.